I might as well share a little bit of myself since I was asking this question. I don't think there's maybe something that propelled me forward because I have always, like I kind of said before, I'm an ENTJ. I've always been focused on just moving forward in my life in whatever way I can. However, when I was uh, very young, can't remember how old exactly, but how old would it have been? Maybe like 7 or something. My own best friend pushed me off of a height and I fell onto my back. I can't remember much about it and I can't remember much of my life before, but I was taken to hospital and a spinal injury basically. But the hospital was after a few hours, you're okay, just go home. And I've been living with neck trouble, spinal problems ever since. And I avoided hospitals ever since I was that young because I always saw them as kind of useless. They didn't want to help me, that kind of thing. So I always like to stay away from hospitals. When I was ill, I never took medicine. I was like, I'll write it out. That this is what the body is designed for. So I'm just that kind of guy where I maybe until in the last 1 or 2 years, I didn't take hospitals seriously at all because of waiting times and my personal experience. But after that, maybe when I was 10 or something, there was a freak accident and I ended up being hanged, not by myself, but by someone else. And I don't really find that to be like a traumatizing experience. I was okay. It could have killed me, but I have survived quite a few things. But because of these things happening when I was very young, I never really thought about them much. Like the neck thing from a few years before that where I was pushed off, that was more of what I was thinking about because um whenever if you wouldn't have seen this if you're watching this video, but the guys who are here with me, because we're on Zoom, you can only see one person speaking at a time at the moment. But off screen, I was messing around with my neck. I have to do that every single day because if I don't, my neck becomes stiff and I can effectively not be able to move for quite a few hours. It happens every few years or something where there's a bad case. Now, listen, I really don't think of these personal things of myself too seriously. I don't think they're that dark. It's just a natural thing. But the thing I do find dark is the stuff that happened recently to my wife, because I have always considered my brain to be my biggest asset because my IQ is extremely high. Um, Not to be big headed about it. Thanks for the joke. But the the very nature of brain cancer and brain surgery is pretty scary to me because I imagine if that was myself, because you can take away your arms, your legs. Yeah, that's pretty scary too. But really, the human is just a brain and the central nervous system, something like that. It's debatable, I know. Um, but I really believe that my brain is my greatest asset. So the very fact that this happened next to me could have been me, but that's not how it works. Um, is something like, yeah, I don't know. If it happened to me, I would be really upset because my brain is extremely precious to me. It's my greatest asset. And yeah, I guess that's all I can say. I don't really uh, do meditation or anything like that. But if we're talking about what propelled me forward, my personality type has always done that for me. However, with what has happened to my wife when she was having brain surgery for 8 hours, 8 to 12 hours roughly awake, which is also quite horrifying for me to imagine. I was like, okay, I have to do something. I have a YouTube channel, I have a website, I have this whole massive community. I need to take things more seriously. And I think that day, or maybe the next day, a very close time, I interviewed Rollo Tomasi. And from that moment, I made the decision to have one of my wife's shoes in the background of a lot of my videos, just as a new tradition and kind of, I don't know, just to remember her, what was happening at that point. And since then, that was the end of December 2022. Since then, I have really took YouTube way more seriously. And as a result, I now have way more views. I just got 100,000 more views in the last 13 days. So things have been going completely insane. And really, it started with me interviewing guys like Ross Jeffries 5 years ago and a select ever few guys. There we go. Um, and I must have done like 2 or 3 videos a year back then. So that's the crazy thing. But now I'm releasing videos at least twice a week, normal videos and YouTube shorts at least once every single day. So for me, that the thing that really drove me forward, or I guess it's a little bit biased because it's happening now, is what has happened to my wife and the fact that it's ongoing. And that really encouraged me to, okay, let's do more basically. That's just how my mind is.